You're sick.
Okay, I did. Okay.
That's embarrassing.
What's embarrassing? They got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase.
That's embarrassing.
I didn't know you were out there playing left guard for them. Like, I didn't realize that. My goodness, they're bad. Blocking. But they're still 2-0.
By golly.
They're 2-0.
That's something they haven't been able to say very often.
And Joe Burrow will be back come December, right? 3 months?
You hope.
Fingers crossed.
I saw one of those internet doctors say if he has surgery, the odds of him coming back this season are small.
Can he just chop it off?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, how important is that body part?
Deion Sanders operates without a toe or two.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is a coach. He's not running around trying to make plays.
Not doing a great job at the moment. My God, that Colorado team is abysmal.
Yeah, they got to figure out this quarterback situation. Woo. They got some stuff to figure out there. They've been carried by Shador and Travis Hunter. Now it's time to try and figure out what else everybody's got going on. So he's got 9 toes. Well, he's got 18 toes, 9 on each foot. But you can tell he's a bit limited. He's a bit hobbled in how he walks around. I don't know if Joe Burrow would need, again, how important is your damn big toe? An Achilles I get. An Achilles is holding things up.
I think it's the balance of your foot. Well, after becoming an expert last night reading on the Joe Burrow situation, it's because it's really important in your ability to push off. So in order to get momentum on a push off, your big toe plays a big part.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't chop it off and give him a prosthetic?
No. Ooh, yeah. Why haven't we made prosthetic toes yet?
I don't know.
They just think you can live. To your fault, you said we can just live without it. What if our best scientists haven't been working hard enough
to get us to
live
live
make
without
prosthetic toes?
What was the song?
Daisies by Katy Perry. I'll keep it.
What is it? How does it go?
Daisies, daisies, daisies. I don't know. That was a horrible rendition of that song.
That's all can't
My
go like
deepest apologies, Katy Perry. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, September 15th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. Full football weekend roundup. I went to Tuscaloosa for the Alabama game, made it home in time for the end of Georgia, Tennessee, and all of the evening games. Lots of good college football, lots of good NFL. Week 2 there started with a bang, ended with a whimper on Sunday Night Football and a big injury for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Gary Parrish will join us about 40 minutes in, as he does each and every Monday. We'll do a little Hot Mess Express as well, try to get into some of the WNBA playoff action from this weekend too. Lots to get into. It's a Monday. You know what we say. Protect your toes.
Protect your toes.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for? The boy is mine.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
I was really looking at the success that Memphis has, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, a football-filled weekend. I'm finally back in the groove of things where I'm finally ready to embrace all football all the time. So much so that my friends and I were driving home from Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Saturday, and a small part of me said, should we just go to Oxford for the Ole Miss Arkansas game on our way back? Luckily, cooler heads prevailed, but tickets were like $50, and I was tempted for a hot moment to go to Vaught Hemingway Stadium and do 2 SEC games in one day. CJ, you went to a game this weekend as well. You went to Tuskegee Jackson State.
I did.
How was your experience?
It was great. I kicked in the tailgate. Shout out to Mr. Kelvin Gates. He's always kind enough to feed me.
The best.
Ate a lot of good food. Hung out with a lot of good people. And then watched Jackson State go out there. They replaced their quarterback. They went with a freshman quarterback from Charlotte, 4-star kid who had SEC offers, if I'm not mistaken. If he didn't have, he was being recruited by SEC level teams. In some way, he found himself in Jackson, Mississippi, and he went out there and demolished the Tuskegee Golden Tigers, who put up a good fight, as good a fight as you can if you're a D2 team. So shout out to Tuskegee, shout out to Jackson, Mississippi. It was a whole lot of fun, man.
Well, we went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My first time in Tuscaloosa, my first time at Bryant-Denny. We did end up leaving on Friday night, which was such a clutch move. We found a cheap hotel room in Columbus, Mississippi, which is about an hour out from Tuscaloosa. So we left Friday. We stopped in Tupelo for dinner. And I don't know if we have any Tupelo fans out there, but I got to give a shout out to Tupelo. We went to this place called the Blue Canoe. The Blue Canoe, highly recommend. If you are ever driving through Tupelo, it is worth a stop. Ton really big musical acts have played there. Gary Clark Jr., Alabama Shakes, American Aquarium, Leon Bridges. Like, they've hosted a lot of people who have become pretty big acts and have hosted them at varying times of their careers. But the food was great. The atmosphere was great. It was the perfect way to kick off a little wild adventure of a weekend. But we woke up early on Saturday morning to get out the door and get to Alabama early because it was an 11 a.m. kick, which is probably the reason tickets were $45 and they were playing Wisconsin, which we will ultimately get to. But we drove to Tuscaloosa. We stopped at the Tuscaloosa Walmart on our way so that we could get shirts, so that we could fit in with the local fare.
Okay, all right. When I go to those types of games, when I go to games I just wear a cartoon tee.
So we had an interesting conversation about this. I don't know why we were so inclined to go the route of playing secret Big Ten operatives because the two people I went with are Iowa grads and I'm a USC grad, and Chris, by marriage, is a Big Ten. Our group chat is the Big Ten group chat. So why we wouldn't just support Wisconsin, but that felt weird. No one wants to support Wisconsin.
No. You're in a real conference.
Missed opportunity.
We don't support each other.
I love the Wisconsin overalls. You know, like the red and white stripe joints. So I was a little upset that we didn't just think we had the opportunity to go all in on that. But it's almost like Alabama football, from all of its greatness and what it represented, is like the caricature of college football. So like, yeah, we're going to be Alabama fans for the day in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm going to wear an Alabama dad shirt, which my mom did not understand. My mom was like, why are you wearing an Alabama dad shirt? You neither went to Alabama, nor are you a dad, nor did your dad go to Alabama. And I said, it's ironic. It's a joke. It's just, I just wanted a big t-shirt. The Alabama mom shirts were V-necks and tight, and I just wanted a big t-shirt that almost went down to my knees, okay? So yes, Alabama dad it is. But there are many...
Wait. So you're in the Walmart where all the team
they had
stuff
everything.
is.
They have their aisles done by Alabama championships. Like
Really?
every aisle is a different flag for whatever year they won a championship.
Okay.
Oh, we felt like we were immediately entrenched in a character world.
They didn't have multiple types of t-shirts?
They had so many different types of t-shirts.
So why did
Alabama dad was funny.
Yeah,
it's like, what else am I going to do?
Why are you confused a lot of people?
Yeah.
A lot of people are confused now by
Well, when I went to the USC-Utah game a couple years
shirt.
ago, I wore a USC Tri-Delta mom shirt. So I feel like my bit now is just wearing parental t-shirts of whatever, one was
what a bit to have. You're just, okay, so now we know. It is funny. If this is the bit,
come on.
Now we know you need a Grizzlies mom t-shirt now,
probably.
or a Grizzlies grandpa t-shirt.
A Grizzlies grandpa shirt.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so that's the bit
Grizzlies
now.
pawpaw.
You're wearing parent and extended
relative.
family relative shirts for whatever fandom that you're rocking with. Okay,
I
go
like
ahead.
that.
I got you.
But there are so many universities that I wouldn't be caught dead wearing an article of clothing for them. Like I would never wear a Notre Dame t-shirt. I don't think I would ever wear Texas A&M would feel weird. Ohio State, non-starter, would never touch my body, would never even touch it with my little finger. Clemson, I think we were like going through the list of like which schools would you no matter what, never in your life wear. And that was the starter pack list. And for me personally, I probably wouldn't wear any of the original Mountain West school teams because the hated Mountain West Conference had a really negative part of my childhood. But anyway, so we get all dressed up, we get there, parking, easy peasy. Everybody told us that we needed to go to this place called Galette's, which is a bar, because I was asking for tailgate options. I was trying to find us a tent. And there are tents. Like I don't want to cause a commotion. But the tailgating experience, and maybe it's the 11 a.m. kick. I don't think Alabama fans are built for 11 a.m. kicks. They haven't had to have a lot of 11 a.m. kicks. Meanwhile, our friends from Iowa are like, we were born and bred on 11 a.m. kicks. We know how to start this thing early. We're cracking a Busch Light at 9 a.m. and ready to go. But it was a little sleepy. We got there at like 9, right around 9, which is 2 hours before kick. And it was not up and running for sure. And we're like riding into the quad area. The bands are kind of playing, and they have so many members of that band. They're just interspersed throughout the quad. But so we end up heading to this Galette's because that's where we had to go. And you do have to pay a cover, but because it was 11 a.m. and Wisconsin, I guess it was only $20 as opposed to $100 for SEC games at times for a bar cover. That cannot be real.
But think about how many people are there.
It's disgusting.
People are willing to pay $20, $30 to get into the bar. And listen, man, there's limited space in here.
Yeah.
So if you've got $100 you're willing to pay,
You're going.
you pay the $100, and it helps the bar keep the amount of people down inside of the bar.
That's fair. We got a yellow hammer.
What?
A yellow hammer. That's their famous drink. It comes in a yellow plastic cup, of which I now have 2 in my household.
Because of the Rammer Jammer?
Yeah.
Okay.
The yellow hammer.
What's in the yellow hammer?
It's got to be like a champagne, a rum.
Okay.
Maybe a
you didn't
orange juice, a
ask?
pineapple. We just had it.
You just order these drinks without
I'm not
looking at the
kidding, CJ.
ingredients?
My ask of, hey, anybody have any advice for Alabama tailgating? I received 27. You have to get a yellow hammer at Galette's. I was like, what else am I going to do? I'm going to feel like a failure if I don't get a yellow hammer at Galette's.
In your Alabama dad.
In my Alabama dad shirt, fitting right in, of course. But we do end up getting to the game right on time. I guess for the first time in like 5 years, they didn't play Thunderstruck for the run out for Alabama because of technical difficulties. Again, not built for 11 a.m. kickoffs. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just telling you what my experience was like. And ultimately, they didn't have the music right. It was not sold out. The upper deck in both end zones was pretty sparse. We were lucky our upper deck area was in the shade the whole time, because if it had been in the sun, I'm not sure we would have made it through half. And if we hadn't made it through half, I would have missed the 2 sick Ryan Williams plays that had us given a good old, did you know Ryan Williams was only 17 years old last year? Do you know Ryan Williams was only 18? It was the flea flicker coming out of the half, which was awesome. Like a 75-yard flea flicker was just taunting the Wisconsin terrible defense at that point. Worst Wisconsin defensive performance since the 2014 Big Ten championship game against Ohio State. And I got to see it with my very own eyes. And then Ryan Williams just juked that guy out on the next possession for Alabama. This was the play that had everybody in our fan section doing the whole whoop, whoop. Just making him look a little silly, a little ankle snatcher. He also dropped a couple passes too, but he's good. Like when I look back on this game, what will I remember? And it will be, I got to see Ryan Williams make a couple big plays, because the game itself was nothing to write home about, which is why I have to dub my overall Alabama football experience of my SEC rankings in my life. It's a distant third, but it's by nature of the game, right? Like when I went to Knoxville, I was blessed with the Tennessee Ole Miss mustard bottle game. When I went to Oxford, I was blessed with the Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart, 1,300 yards of offense shootout. So that elevates everything up a little bit. This was 11 a.m. against a really bad Wisconsin team who I think is going to struggle the rest of the way in the Big Ten this year. And maybe Alabama's not that bad after all. You know, we don't know. We'll find out next week. They play Georgia.
Yeah, they play Georgia, who's coming off that overtime win against Tennessee. And listen, Wisconsin football has fallen, and I'm not sure what the hell the game plan is for them up there. Now, from an Alabama side of things, you've gone out there and you've already played 2 P-Force teams. You look pretty bad against Florida State team who just ran it all over you. You look pretty good against a Wisconsin team that is abysmal at best. So how good is Alabama? I don't know. They're somewhere between terrible and pretty damn good. But that's what most teams are right now, 3 games into the season. I look forward to seeing what they do against Georgia. Do you know where that game is, home or away?
It's in Georgia. It's in Athens. Okay. Yeah.
So here we go.
Here we go.
And that Georgia defense is as vaunted as it's been in years past, as talented as it's been in years past. Honestly, it's probably still pretty talented. We'll see come the end of the season. They look gettable. And they got by Tennessee offensively. It's not like they're some juggernaut that you're not going to be able to move the ball against. If you're a competent team with athletes like we think Alabama is, this is going to be one of the best games of the week, premier game of the week.
The best part of our whole adventures were that we made it home for the end of the Georgia-Tennessee game, which was spectacular. I walked in the door as Gunnar Stockton hit London Humphreys for that beaut of a pass in the 4th quarter. And then we got to watch the rest of a wildly entertaining evening of college football. Thoughts and prayers to all of our Tennessee Volunteers fans out there this morning. I feel that you woke up still feeling as if you were punched in the face, because what a brutal experience to think you were finally going to do it, and then you simply do not. Protect Max Gilbert at all costs.
Protect who?
Protect Max Gilbert.
Who's he?
Memphian, right there.
Who's he?
The young man who missed the kick. I almost said little kid.
I knew you were going to say that. Check this out.
Protect Max Gilbert, Lausanne's finest.
Listen, I've been on college campuses at various football programs the past 2 or 3 years, right? We did the thing at Memphis, been Jackson State for some practice stuff, Tennessee State for some practice stuff, Tuskegee for some things here.
I know what you're going to say.
I have seen at some of these programs, I did not name them, but at some of these programs, I've seen what practice is for the kickers. I've seen with my own 2 eyes the fact that everybody else is outside popping pads, sweating, running around, getting after it. Meanwhile, the punter and the kicker and the long snapper and the long kicker, they're all just frolicking inside, holding hands, coloring and doing word puzzles and things of that nature. So don't expect any sympathy from me when one of those dudes is asked to do their damn jobs and they go out there and they miss like that. That wasn't even close. That was so far wide. Man, fix your face. Go out there and be better. It's your job.
Like a sweet little baby.
Well, what happens if you got a baby who's running around coloring on walls and spreading feces everywhere? Right? You're like, no, kid, stop that.
Okay,
do better.
okay.
That's what he's doing.
Listen, it's crazy that it even ended up in the hands or that it even ended up in the foot of Max Gilbert to begin with, because I said going into this game, I could not trust a Josh Heupel offense against a Kirby Smart defense until I saw it succeed with my very own eyes. And listen, like, we saw that. They went up 21-7. We were listening on the radio, and shout out to the radio play-by-play guy for the Vols, because he's a special one. He's one of those great SEC, born for this role, give me this game, provide all the color and animation on the radio, and he's yelling, "Big Orange! Big Orange!"
It's Mike Keith, according to Jacob, old Titans guy. Jacob says it's his first year.
It's his first year?
It's his first year with Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
He was the Titans radio guy.
He was spectacular. I mean, we were cracking up on the drive home, but he really gave it his all and all the gusto in the world. But, like, you're listening to it and you're thinking, my God, like, Joey Aguilar is going to lead this team to a national championship. They started, I think he was 14 of 14 for 3 touchdowns to start the game. And then they went punt, punt, interception, punt, punt, and the offense finally got it back together on that 56-yard touchdown pass to Chris Brazzell, who certainly seems like a special weapon for the Vols this season. But ultimately, shout out to Georgia. Like, they won that game in a way that doesn't feel very typically Georgian, if you will. Like, it was a lot of receiver play, that Humphrey catch, a couple big plays from a mile guy at USC, Zachariah Branch. I think they had 10 different receivers catch a pass. And ultimately, Gunnar Stockton on the road played like a winner. Like, he's winning in a shootout. And we're so used to a game being decided by Georgia defense or the Georgia run game coming to fruition right when it matters most and being able to lead them to a win. And it was definitely a different brand of Georgia football than we are perhaps familiar with, but they got it done. Just absolutely heart-wrenching. The fans for Tennessee in those stands, that one guy that they kept going back to, I was like, is he famous? But I think it was just he was one of the most animated fans in the stadium.
The one who looked like Philip Fulmer?
Yes.
Yeah. I think they kept
well, for
going
a hot
back
second,
to him.
I thought it was Philip Fulmer.
I think they kept going back to him. I was like, look at this Phil Fulmer lookalike.
Somebody said ESPN hasn't been this obsessed with someone in the stands since Catherine Webb. I was like, damn, what a callback. Shout out Brett Musburger. Crazy game for Tennessee, and they get the win. For Georgia to get another win and Tennessee to have yet another loss to Georgia. One year you'll get it. It's just not this one.
Get more yards, right? We're talking in the chat about the false start that pushed it back 5 yards. It was still third down. Run another play. It's 20-some seconds on the clock. You got 3 timeouts. Also, once you get into field goal range, good coaches don't just stop there. Good coaches don't lean back and say, all right, we're in field goal range. We're good to go. Let's kick this field goal. No, good coaches continue to try and run plays because they know that their players aren't going to make the mistake that costs them the game. So you continue to try and get closer. You continue to try and play for a touchdown, and then you settle for the score. Once that's all done, I just think I think Josh Heupel is a really, really good coach. I think that was a mistake on his part to play to settle for the field goal. And then the kicker let him down, man. It's unfortunate for them. Again, I've seen how some of these – I understand. D'Angelo used to come on here, and he still does come on here, but he came on here a time or two and just lit into kickers. And after, I get it. I get why.
Well, you also saw a kicker giveth, a kicker taketh away. Like, the kicker for Georgia Tech should be celebrated this morning. Like, you run that kind of a fire drill from, 60 yards out? Mm-hmm. And they almost executed it so perfectly they left time on the clock. Like, this is a kicker who ends up winning the game for his team with a 55-yard attempt. And Georgia Tech gets the upset over Clemson. So you have to have kickers. It's a part of the game.
Oh, yeah, but when
kickers matter.
Yeah, yes, they do. So treat your job like it matters. Don't be frolicking, making your friends
He wasn't frolicking.
Crown.
He was doing deep breathing exercises. He overthought.
Don't be, doing each other's hair when you're when it's practice time.
Max Gilbert was doing those when when they said he was doing deep breathing exercises, and again, the look on his face made me think, oh no, he might be thinking a little too hard about this kick. And he ultimately misses it. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I thought the Tennessee-Georgia game was phenomenal. I thought we had two of the best games of the college football season so far. The other one being the Texas A&M Notre Dame game later that night. We'll go through the rest of the college football slate. NFL still ahead, plus Gary Parrish after a quick break.
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're positioned, we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstance is right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
We're really just, I was really looking at the success that Memphis has, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Making our way through the college football weekend that was. We'll still get to the NFL a little bit later in the show. But as I said going into the break, 2 of the best games of the year happened this week. The Tennessee-Georgia game and then the Texas A&M win over Notre Dame. Texas A&M wins 41-40. Notre Dame an extra point short. Also, there was holding on that last play from a Texas A&M offensive lineman. But alas, there were a lot of kind of sketchy calls throughout the weekend of the college football weekend that was. What happened to Notre Dame's defense, though? Notre Dame's defense looks terrible. They have their new defensive coordinator in Chris Ash. He's keeping his play calling duties after this weekend, but they gave up 488 yards, 7 yards per play, and the Texas A&M quarterback, Marcel Reed, averaged more than 20 yards per completion. That is insane. It was like big play palooza for Texas A&M against Notre Dame. Anyway, Notre Dame 0-2, somehow, some way, still ranked in the AP top 25 despite their record.
I mean, who have they lost to?
Two good teams, but
Okay.
it's a...
I mean, at a certain point, and again, this right here is why it kind of doesn't matter what's
Preseason
going
polls
on,
are
right?
stupid.
Going on in week preseason, and kind of doesn't matter what's going on from a poll standpoint in
Yes.
week 3 and week 4. It just gives us something to talk about. As long as they get it right come the end of the season, it'll be right. But how in the hell am I supposed to judge these teams when Notre Dame has played Miami on the road? Correct me if I'm wrong. And wasn't Texas A&M on the road?
Yes.
So they played those two on the road and lost. It was close losses, but losses nonetheless. Meanwhile, pick a random school who's got 3 wins over some combination of Georgia State, San Diego State, Eastern Washington, and UTEP, right? Like that. How am I supposed to accurately decide how good they are? We need more time. We need more points, but
here's
more
the
data points. But like Notre Dame being ranked, I'm not going to trip over.
But the problem with Notre Dame is you look at the rest of their schedule and how much of a reality check of how good they are you going to get, which isn't
what's
their
on there?
fault. It's Purdue.
Okay.
Who I just watched USC play this weekend. USC now ranked in the AP top 25. Okay.
Somebody's got to be there.
Arkansas,
All right.
who we'll get into. The Arkansas-Memphis game next weekend is going to be incredible. Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford.
Okay.
That's all that's left for Notre Dame.
I mean, I didn't hear a non-power team in there.
It's not non-power. I mean,
Okay.
technically Navy is a non-power
Okay, so Navy.
team.
I forgot Navy. So Navy.
And Boise State.
Navy and Boise. And by that time, Boise might be back in near the rankings. So that's a solid schedule. Nobody's asking you to go out there and play a schedule that is Florida State, assuming Florida State is good, assuming all of these teams are good and not down, right? Florida State, Texas, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss. Like, we're not asking you to do that. We are asking you to play teams that are like you and serve to give us a better sense of what you are from a competitive standpoint, and that's what all of those teams are. And lo and behold, we can't truly project what these teams will be.
True.
Week 8, week 9, let's let it play out and let's see. But as of right now, this is all I'm talking about in the now. What the hell I look like not having Notre Dame ranked and then ranking somebody like, I don't know. Give me somebody who's played 2 group of 5 teams and an FCS team and sitting there at 3-0. Pick one, right? Like, how can I justify that? So we'll see. It'll all play out. It'll all fix itself.
Rational take. Because you are figuring it out, to go back to the question we were asking on Friday, who is the best team in the SEC? You now have Texas A&M moves into the top 10. They're right at 10. You still have Georgia at 5 after beating Tennessee. You have LSU at 3. May I interest you in a new contender?
If it's Vanderbilt, no, you can't.
May I interest you in someone who should have your attention?
If it's the Commodores, no, you can't.
Vanderbilt is a real football team, and you all have to accept it. You have no choice. I'm sorry. Vanderbilt is a real football team. The Vanderbilt you all know and make fun of is dead. R.I.P. No matter where this goes from here, this Vanderbilt is quite literally built different. They finally beat South Carolina after losing to them 16 times in a row. South Carolina was the 11th ranked team in the country, may I remind you. And did they lose their quarterback in Lenora Sellers to a concussion? Yes. But did Lenora Sellers let that Vanderbilt offense run all over them? Absolutely not. That lasted her 44-yard touchdown run that really broke it open, that sent those South Carolina fans. Again, we are all a community, a country of front runners, because those South Carolina fans who were supposed to be responsible for one of the best night game environments in college football, they were out of there lickety-split after a guy who is a walk-on ran all over them. You see Diego Pavia sacrificing his body for this team. I don't know if Diego Pavia is going to make it through the entire season because he is a capital P psychopath out there on the field. Did you see the block he laid out?
Yeah, you can't be letting the quarterback hit you
Completely
like that.
unadvisable from anybody. And yet, I watched Diego Pavia block. And I think to myself, that man will die for this game. And as I said Friday, as long as Diego Pavia is on that field, Vanderbilt has a chance to beat anyone. And they are finally ranked. They are 20th in the country. Rankings, schmankings. I've seen it with my own eyes. I watched the second half of that Vanderbilt-South Carolina game and much of the first as well. And I just continue to be very impressed with this Vanderbilt football team. They get Alabama on October 4th. October 4th, Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
You going for that?
I should go back. It's a very doable thing.
Yeah.
If you can find cheap tickets. Tickets are too expensive these days for all things sports. I cannot believe.
And like for other things.
And for other things.
Ariana Grande.
And for hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, the world is getting increasingly expensive, so you can't do something. If it was guaranteed to be like a $100 hotel room in Columbus, Mississippi, $40 tickets to Alabama Vanderbilt, I'd probably try to go to that game as long as Vanderbilt takes care of Georgia State and Utah State, and we'll see what Alabama looks like against Georgia because, again, I can't really use Wisconsin as a proper barometer. They look terrible. I cannot get over how bad Wisconsin. Like, that quarterback threw a pick on their second drive. I was like, oh, this is over. This is the end of this game. But
that's your problem.
Vanderbilt's a fun watch. You can be a hater if you want. That's fine. Join me in the promised land. Enjoy watching Vanderbilt football. They're one of the best shows in the sport this year, and that's on you if you don't want to accept it. And I'm speaking to you.
Listen,
Seat Conrad.
Run me through that schedule again. Conrad, the full name. Run me through that schedule because it's not just Alabama. Don't they go like Alabama, LSU,
they go Alabama,
Texas?
LSU, Missouri, Texas, Auburn,
all right,
Kentucky, Tennessee.
Stop. Holla at me after the Texas game. Who did not look good at all?
Okay.
Is this what he is?
I'm not willing to say that yet.
Okay.
I think maybe the look. I was going to call it the poopy pants look, but that's an unfair interpretation of the Steve Sarkisian quote anyway. Just his grimacing. You have to go back on it and wonder, like, is he 100% healthy? But bottom line is he is not living up to the very high crowning that took place going into this season.
But it's not just, listen, there are a couple of quarterbacks who I think fit that. Not just Arch. We're talking about South Carolina before I sidetracked us, but Sellers is another one who we thought was a game-changing type of quarterback. Yeah. Lagway, another one. And they aren't looking near what we were prognosticating them to look like and what their fan bases were hoping they were going to be. Just somebody who, with the ball in their hand, they're going to be able to make plays, either with their arms or with their legs. And those three have not looked that way. And their teams, as a result, we're finding out now just how good the rest of the pieces are and are not. And there's not a lot there for South Carolina. If Sellers isn't going to be, and I talked about it last week on this show and on the Odds Couple, if he isn't going to be a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing, there's not enough talent on that South Carolina team for them to be contenders in the SEC. Same thing goes for Florida. Texas is a bit different, but they're not going to be able to beat the good teams in the SEC if Arch Manning isn't playing significantly better. I'm not saying that he needs to be playing like a once-in-a-lifetime prospect. I'm not asking him to go out there and be Andrew Luck when he was at Stanford. I'm not asking him to go out there and be Johnny Manziel when he was running around making crazy plays at Texas A&M. But I am asking him to be better than what he is right now. And if he can't do that, Texas is in trouble if we think Texas is supposed to contend for an SEC title.
You mentioned Florida. I was really sleepy coming back from that game, so I would kind of go in and out of sleep as we got to the later games of the evening, and yet I still somehow saw all 5 interceptions from DJ Lagway. We're like bumping around every channel. Chris is a master of the remote in these situations. I'm so proud to be married to someone who knows how to efficiently watch an evening of great college football games across like 5 different channels, but I somehow saw all of DJ Lagway's picks, which was insane. Again, I am the empath of this show, and I was feeling very badly for DJ Lagway, which, yes, CJ, I know you will say, be better, but it just got to a point where I understand that, and yet I was uncomfortable watching him be that bad. I was like, can we just have the game end? Can we do what Mississippi State did this weekend? I don't even remember who they played. Was it Alcorn? They did 10 more. They did a running clock? Alcorn. I always say Alcorn.
I didn't know that you could do that.
I didn't either. Is that who they played?
I think so. I think they played Alcorn State.
I saw that. I wanted that for DJ Lagway. And it wasn't even It was a close game. It did not feel close in the slightest.
Is it wrong of me to not have the empathy, the sympathy, the compassion?
No, you're probably more normal. I'm too empathetic.
Dude who's thrown 5 interceptions in a 20-10 game.
So I think my empathy lagways when it's like 2 interceptions, but when it's 5, it's just a pile on. Like we already know what you are in this situation. It just gets worse.
Stop doing them.
I was in pain.
After the 3rd one. Just say, you know what, that guy.
I was in pain for him.
Time to open, I'm not throwing it. I'm just gonna fall to the ground. Like, do that.
I just find myself feeling bad for random people on a college football Saturday, like Sam Pittman. I wanted Arkansas. Sorry, Ole Miss fans, but just from a sake of like what it would have meant for Arkansas to get that win after they played so well. That fumble at the end, they had a real chance and they fumbled it away. I think Green might be hurt, which is big when we get to the Memphis-Arkansas game coming up 11 a.m. on ABC. How about that? They've bumped it onto national television for the Tigers-Razorbacks game here in Memphis on Saturday. 11 o'clock, Simmons Bank at the Bank, Liberty Stadium.
Memphis knows how to get up for an 11 o'clock game.
They do.
Memphis will be rocking.
Especially against an SEC opponent on national television.
Yeah.
Listen, I have fond memories of even something like the Rosen one. When Josh Rosen and UCLA's team, I think that was an 11 a.m. kick back in the day. We've had plenty of Ole Miss games. Like that's something Memphis fans, I hope, it's been a second. I think the Mississippi State game many years back.
Yeah, Leach was still alive.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't have any doubt that the environment in Memphis will be great on Saturday. I obviously did not get to watch the Memphis-Troy game because it was happening at the same time as the Alabama-Wisconsin game. I did see that catch by Brady Cluse, which was sweet, and I love the use of the Cluse is loose. Shout out to the Memphis social team for that one. Back of the end zone, one-handed grab. One of the most impressive catches of the entire football weekend from Brady Cluse. So that's his first college touchdown. He had a nice one-handed catch last season, too. We're still seeing who kind of emerges as that wide receiver 1 for Memphis. Brendan Lewis looked nice. I know the offense faltered a bit in the second half, but their defense was able to lock down Troy after Troy's quarterback, Goose, got hurt on the first play of the game, and there was really no coming back for Troy. But that just sets up what should be exactly what you wanted. And even it would have been even better if Arkansas had upset Ole Miss and you're coming in with a big upset win for them. But that Arkansas team looked impressive. Like on the flip side of that, Ole Miss, that Trinidad Chambliss, who was in for Austin Simmons, and then Austin Simmons had to come in for a play and clearly should not have been in for the play, but still threw a touchdown. But Chambliss they got something good there. He transferred from Ferris State, threw for 409 yards for Ole Miss in that game. But I'm very excited to see Memphis, Arkansas. We'll talk a lot about it this week. One last thing from college football before we move on to Gary, before we move on to the NFL. The Cal quarterback is legit. The Cal quarterback is a real one, and I would suggest checking out some Cal quarterback highlights. You might laugh at moi, but that Cal quarterback is either going to buck the trend and stay at Cal and be a hero in the city of Berkeley. His name is Jaren Kiave Sagapulatele. Start saying it because it's a bit of a mouthful. JKS, Jaren Kiave Sagapulatele. He had a handful of throws. Cal beat Minnesota late Saturday. That was a late game on ESPN after the Ole Miss Arkansas game. Some of those throws he makes, I mean, it's the kind of throw that makes you believe you have something special in a quarterback. And the kind of throws that suddenly now, and I tried to tell you last week before everybody else jumped on board, that he is going to be that quarterback who many teams will hope hits the transfer portal and many hope they can land with a big NIL package. I personally hope he stays in beautiful Berkeley, but lots of time there.
Do you know who they play this week? If not, I can look it up. It's fine.
I don't. They play someone. They play some, but they're going to play a game. They're going to be on the football field, and they might win and they might lose. But I know that JKS, they'll have some big plays. All right, we'll take a quick break. Gary Parrish is going to join us on the other side. We'll catch up with GP when we come back.
Boston College.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
The boy is mine.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
Well, really just, I was really looking at the success that Memphis had, something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're positioned, we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstance is right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. It is Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of the Gary Parrish Show. Weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. He joins us every Monday. He joins us now. GP, how was your weekend?
It was it was fine. Had a reasonable weekend. We had a football game, youth football on Saturday, youth baseball on Sunday. We watched some football. We watched some award shows, and it was and now it's Monday again.
Yeah, it always comes so fast.
Well.
Yeah. What was the best thing you watched this weekend?
Best thing I watched this week. I mean, in terms of something that was compelling, obviously this isn't unique to me, but Georgia Tennessee was, already being listed as a candidate for game of the year, and goes to overtime. Georgia wins on the road. The Tennessee kicker, has a rough day and then has a rough night on the internet, and I that's my main takeaway. I heard you guys talking about it earlier, but that young man Max Gilbert, my heart breaks for him. I feel sick for him. I'm watching that game. I don't care who wins. I don't have money on it. Whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just make this kick, please, because I don't want you to have to go through not just the night or the weekend, but your life. This.
I said it as he walked up to take the kick.
Yeah.
I audibly said, "Please, for this kid's safety, let him make this kick." And then he missed it so badly.
It was awful.
That it just instantly sends it into hate territory. And I get it. I'm obviously on your side of it, where I watch that and I feel ill for what he is going to have to deal with. I understand people who watch it from CJ's side and say, You're a kicker. That's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Make that kick. It's a makeable kick. It's a 45-yarder. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have made that kick. In fact, I think there was some stat that he had made his last 4 from that distance.
We could go out there right now, put a ball,
And he would
he'd make a 50 in a row.
Yes.
It's the moment got to him. That's clear. It's just I'm not trying to. Being careful with my words, but like you melt in the moment. It gets to you. The moment gets to you.
We have all different versions of it. It's the yips. And we see kickers experience it often.
Oh, wait. I understand what we're talking about here, but he missed a 45-yard kick that cost Tennessee the game. Tennessee has now lost to Georgia 9 straight times.
No, I get all that.
That kick is part of the reason why.
That kick is the reason why. Like we can.
Listen, he will be essentially. I'm not trying to equate this with. There's a big difference between a Georgia-Tennessee game in September and a Super Bowl.
Right.
But he will be Vols fans' Scott Norwood of sorts.
Yeah, like here's where I'm at on it. Make the kick. Absolutely. I'll co-sign that. It is your job. That's why you're on scholarship. That's probably why you got an NIL deal or whatever.
Right.
It's somebody else's job to make a tackle. It's somebody else's job to run the ball. It's somebody else's job to block. Your specific job for this football team, the only reason you're here is to kick the ball through the uprights. Go do your job. I get that completely. I'm just saying once it doesn't happen and this young man's entire world is collapsing on top of him, I then go into, man, that could be my son.
Yeah.
Because my son went to school with this young man.
Yes.
At Lausanne. They had, my understanding is they had classes together. I don't know that they were friends, but they're aware of each other. And then I just start looking. The young man follows me on Twitter. And so I'm just like, this is a real person. This is his parents who I probably, bumped into at the Lausanne campus one time. And my fear, I hope this isn't true, but this could be what he is known for the rest of his life to the extent that he's known at all. Most of us, most people don't get known in life.
Get yourself a therapist.
Real
fast.
This is where we're at. At Yahoo Sports, there's this headline. Who is Max Gilbert?
Yeah.
Want to know about Tennessee's sophomore kicker who missed game-winning field goal versus Georgia? That is a thing that websites do when somebody is trending and somebody at Yahoo or wherever says, hey, we need a headline that says exactly that. Who is Max Gilbert? Because right now people are all over the world Googling who is Max Gilbert. So let's bring them to our place.
Yes.
If you ever get to a point where there's a headline just basically trying to explain to people who you are, it means that your notoriety has gone through the roof very quickly, and the internet is adjusting to it. And it's usually not a good thing.
Right. And I talked about it in the first segment, but then you have the Aiden Burrow from Georgia Tech, and he gets to be the hero. And the goalposts come down, and you storm the field. And it is that's why we sports. I'm not trying to make this into a real sob story. I just cannot help but feel for. But that's how I am across the board. Caleb Johnson had a real boneheaded play in the NFL yesterday on a kick. Or a kickoff where he goes to field the kick and goes through his hands and he touched it and he clearly doesn't know the rules that if the kick goes into the back of the end zone, it's a live ball and the Seahawks are able to recover it for a touchdown. And the immediate response from many people is, Caleb Johnson should never play another down of football again. Mike Tomlin should kick him off the team. We know Mike Tomlin doesn't have a whole lot of patience or understanding for something as boneheaded as this player not knowing the rules of the game that he's playing in. And I get that. Right. It was so dumb. But my instinct is to say, I hope Caleb Johnson has someone to give him a hug tonight. Yeah, that's just me again. I see CJ just chomping at the bit to say this is sports and what are we doing here and why are we feeling bad for people who make stupid decisions?
I don't know. I do possess empathy. I can bring that to the table. And, I can laugh at stupid stuff and have fun with jokes just like anybody else. But I am more like you. When something goes badly for somebody, I'm not interested in piling on as much as I hope they're going to be able to handle this well, because this is going to be hard for them. You know what it's like. We're not football players, but we do have public jobs, and sometimes your mentions can get a little wild, and it can feel overwhelming. Yes. It's easy. You just do that. And
easier said than done.
Yeah, but I'm pretty good at it these days. But
getting better every day.
You can feel a little overwhelmed sometimes, and that is, and neither one of us have ever experienced anything like Max Gilbert experienced this weekend.
No.
As soon as he did the kick, missed it, I went and did a Twitter search on his name.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was rough.
I did the same thing.
Like
because we're also sick. We have empathy, but we're sick, and we like to see what's going on down there.
I plead guilty. I hate it for the young man, but I wanted to see it. I wanted to see if it was exactly what I thought it would be, and it was. And I just know that like he has I don't know. I assume he has a father who's like, here today somewhere in the city, and like that's hard. I would not want my son to be a kicker. I would not want my son to be put in that position, because here's the thing, though. You say, well, you make the kick, you're the hero. Kickers are rarely the heroes.
So rarely.
We don't think about them as heroes. We think about them as, well, of course, you're supposed to be. It's a 37-yarder to win the game. You're not a hero if you make it. The quarterback's the hero who got us down here. Now you just got to do this, or we're going to send you death threats on Twitter. Like, you're rarely the hero. You're usually you do your job well, and everybody goes, that's what you're supposed to do. And then that happens, and they go, you must die. I just wouldn't want I would not want my son to be a kicker.
Yeah. I don't think I would either.
I don't even understand why we let kickers have this big of a role in a football game.
That's a based question, Gary.
Yeah, like we can go back and do that another day, but like why do we do this? And then go, okay, now it's going to come down to a person that we don't even really label a football player.
I was going to say a person that lacks respect from many who watch the sport anyway.
But it doesn't have to come down to the person. We didn't decide that it comes down to the person. You got to take that up with Heupel.
I'm just saying in general, the idea that football games come down to are often determined by people who we don't even consider real football players has always struck me as maybe not the best way to do this.
Well, you got to take that up with the coaches. That's their philosophy. Heupel got them. They got down inside the 30, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go out there and kick this 45-yarder, right? If you got a different coach with a different philosophy, he's saying, hey, we're not going to try and pit it on the leg of the kicker. Our offense is rolling. Georgia hasn't been able to stop us all game. It's under a minute left. We got 3 timeouts. We've crossed the 50. Let's try and score the touchdown there. There was no reason for Heupel to decide, hey, let's kick the field goal other than being safe. No, you don't. No, you don't.
The math. Yes, you do.
You do not.
You had Brandon Aubrey out there kicking a 65-yarder yesterday, and I'm not trying to compare Max Gilbert to Brandon Aubrey because one missed a 45er and the other made one of the most absurd kicks I've ever seen to tie a game.
That 65-yarder was as close as they could have gotten, correct me if I'm wrong, due to the time, wasn't it?
Anyway, neither here nor there.
There was a different way for Tennessee to handle the end of regulation. We can all agree on that.
Yes.
My larger point is that those situations often do, for whatever reason, come down to a kicker deciding the outcome of a competition we've been playing for 3.5 hours. And I've just always thought it's kind of weird that we let that person determine this thing that we've been doing this entire afternoon.
We have a great game coming up in Memphis next weekend. There are 4 undefeated teams in the American. None of them are ranked, but Memphis is one of them, coming off their win over Troy, and they will host Arkansas at the Bank. Are you going to be there?
I am going to try to be there. It's really just a matter of me checking a app on my phone to see what time my 8-year-old's football game is on Saturday.
They use an app for that now? They use an app for
it's the
kids'
best.
schedules?
Group Me. Are you got anything to do with Group Me?
I've been on Group Me, and I don't know why.
Group Me's amazing.
Why have I been on Group Me?
You're probably in a group.
Group Me is a
but
way
why would I have used it?
A way for everybody with different phones and devices to be able to communicate.
So
that's it. I was in a fantasy football group on Group
There
Me.
you go. So it's like, you got the football schedules in there, and it's basically a group chat.
Okay.
And you got your football team, and you got your baseball team, and you got your golf team, and that you just go.
Yeah.
So I need to find out what time my 8-year-old's football game is on Saturday, and if it doesn't get in the way, then absolutely I would like to take them. I mean, it's an SEC school coming in. It's an undefeated Memphis team. It should be like an awesome, awesome day at Simmons Bank. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the game regardless of how I consume it. But if we can make it work, I'd like to be there.
Yeah, I don't have any schedule conflicts. We had something in the evening on Saturday that would be unavoidable, and I was hoping and praying. I was one random people who was happy that you had an 11. We could have done a mid-afternoon. It would have gotten a little sketchy, but we probably couldn't have done an evening. And now I'm like, there is no reason why I should not be sitting at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium to watch Memphis, Arkansas. So I will be there. Like, it just feels, one, it's a big game.
Yes.
It's a big opportunity. And we talk, you and I and CJ and all of us who have a platform, we talk all the time about the importance of Memphis fans showing up for big games. And I'm not going to try to shame anyone into going to the game on Saturday, but these are the ones that are fun. Like, these are the ones that you are hopeful that they come through your stadium once a year. And I don't know how many more opportunities there's going to be for an SEC opponent to come in and face Memphis based on their new conference scheduling and playing 9 games. So this might be one of the last chances for a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel any civic obligation to be there, but I do recognize more now than perhaps I used to that, we've got some nice things here, but they won't necessarily be here forever, and we do need to support them and treat them well and show up, as you put it. And that goes for our NBA franchise, and it goes for the Memphis basketball program, Memphis football program. And, those of us who have the means to show up and the time to show up, I am more compelled than I used to be, I think, to do my part, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And that is why I went to the season opener against Chattanooga. It wasn't because I was looking forward to the game. It's because I wanted to, in the smallest way possible, do my part, support, show up. And, hopefully a lot of people do that this weekend because it should be a fun day. I
also, over the weekend, just had the reminder of the experience of going to a game in person. And, we talk all the time about finding community. And I'm not going to say 4 Big Ten and 1 ACC and my husband, Chris, with Syracuse, but 4 non-SEC grower-uppers going to a game in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that's not our community. We didn't grow up in that. We're not real Tide fans. We can give a good old fake Roll Tide roll with the rest of them, but it's not going to hit the same. But seeing other people participate in the communal aspect of sports, even watching the Vikings game last night, they did and I said, man, it looks like it's fun to be a Vikings fan. Yeah. And I just think we need more of that. Like, European sports and South American sports, I think, do a much better job of having constant bits that have the crowd involved the whole time, so you're never on your phone. But there was a picture taken from some Zoom cam, when you can see where you were at a game and type in your ticket. And I got to say, the one of us just happened to be every single person in our section. Not a phone in sight. There you go. And I was like, what a rare thing in this world. So anyway, I think the physical act of going to a game, like you said, if you can afford it, if you have the time to go out there, it is a reminder that you can be around people and do something fun, and it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
usual.
I think we've just gotten so used to watching things because it's just convenient. It's like we've got these beautiful screens and these nice couches, and we can hold our phones, and it's air conditioned, and we've just got so used to watching things that some of us are less inclined to go be a part of something.
Right.
But when I do go and be a part of something, I'm reminded this is the way you're supposed to be living life. You're not supposed to just be watching the world all the time. You're supposed to be in the world. Yeah. And going to a football game is one way to do that, I guess.
Speaking of screens, I like screens because I like TV, and the Emmys were last night, and I can always count on you to at least have some connectivity to an award show when it is on. You were telling me during the break, you watched it passively.
Yeah, we
were not
on.
locked in.
Yeah.
Did anything stand out to you from the Emmys?
Obviously, the studio racked up with Seth Rogen, and I think that's deserved. Him getting all of that attention last night, I thought was deserved because he was great in that series. He's obviously hilarious, but also there were serious moments, and he handled those well. And I thought the show was hilarious and perfect, and just
Hollywood loves itself, but I loved the studio.
Yes, yes, and that was in some ways Hollywood making fun of Hollywood a little bit. I just thought it was really good, and he deserved all of that. The Stephen Colbert moment was obviously interesting for all of the reasons.
Both the opener and him winning Best Late Night Talk Show while on CBS, which is a company owned by Paramount that now has decided they no longer want to have Stephen Colbert as their host, and he will be on his way out. And yet he was awarded the Pinnacle Award.
And I thought
people seem to love him.
I know it gets nasty on the internet, and the President of the United States is he's no talent, blah, 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 but he's an immensely talented guy, a ridiculously funny guy, and also very smart.
And very empathetic. Not to go back to I've said empathy way too many times on the show today.
You can find a lot of...
I watch a lot of Colbert clips talking about grief and loss and relationships.
He lost family members when he was very young, and it had a big impact on him. And he's just great talking about those things. And that's why it's sort of frustrating when you hear people amplify this other stuff because it's just not an accurate reflection. Like that, he's a really talented guy, and he's got the whole world available to him going forward. You'll hear from him again.
Yeah, The Pit, which I loved this year.
I didn't get into that. I know. I think I watched one episode and it was like, fine. This is. It seems like it's. I get it. I understand why people like this, but I just never even started episode 2. But I should go back to it.
Well, so funny enough, I had the exact same experience with Adolescence, which I know you loved.
I loved
and
that.
It racked up.
I was glad to see it rack up.
It's a rarity for me to watch the Emmys and not have watched the critically acclaimed darling of the night, and that's what Adolescence
you still
felt
haven't
like.
finished it?
No, but we're gonna go back.
Okay.
And I've heard in terms of a story of someone who was radicalized on the internet, it feels like a pertinent time to maybe revisit that kind of content. But the young man, Owen, I can't think of his last name, but 15 years old, youngest person to win Best Actor at the Emmys, was really impressive and just cool. Him talking about the absurdity of 3 years ago I started acting classes and now I'm standing here in front of all of you. I'm a sucker for those kind of moments. But I did think the totality of the broadcast, I hated it. I really did not like. I don't twist my words. I love the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah.
I hated the way they did the So for people who didn't watch, Nate Bargatze's the host last night. He brings up this bit essentially where if somebody goes over 45 seconds in their speech, it will detract from a $100,000 pot that is going to go to the Boys and Girls Club of America. And with every second someone goes over, they are taking $1,000 out of the pot. Now, if you go under 45 seconds, for every second you go under, would add money to the pot. But it became obvious early that 45 seconds is a short amount of time. And there are people who are accepting awards for the first time in their lives that they've always wanted to go. And I'm all for trying to tighten the award show structure. It was pretty close to being an on-time broadcast, so you can call it effective. But it just felt weird and it missed the mark for me, and they brought it back too soon. I thought if he had said it at the beginning, come back in the middle, said this is where we're at, instead of making it a personal, almost shaming moment for every person who did it. And at the end of the day, those people in that room have so much money. The fact that we're playing around with $100,000, for me, $100,000 is an incredible amount of money. But for a lot of those people, and not even just the actors, but the producers and the studio heads who are sitting in that room, $100,000 is chump change.
That's right.
And so you're making it this thing where you're shaming the actors to make your speeches, or not even just the actors, the writers, the directors, to go as quick as possible. You all have all this money, and at the end, we all knew what they were going to, cool, they're still giving $100,000 and Bargatze's given $250. But maybe I'm just insane with Monopoly money at this point. I'm certainly they could have done a little bit more.
Maybe could have done more. It seems like a fair assessment of things. I wasn't bothered by it. I did just sort of recognize, okay, the joke is getting... Okay, it's... Are we done here with this? But they kept revisiting it. Which, whatever. I'm sure it worked for... Here's what happened, I think. They developed this bit that got them some real headlines in advance of the show.
Yeah.
And it got some real attention, and then they said, okay, now let's implement it. And I think they probably made it too much of a part of the show. But they got what they wanted out of it.
They did.
Yeah.
Success.
Yes.
They were short.
And I think Nate was, he's good. I like him.
I like him.
Yeah.
I did not think that was him at his best.
Maybe.
I loved the skit at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I've never really thought about recycling SNL bits on other
CBS.
entities, but it did strike me, and the fact that you're using Bo and Yang, and I can't think of the other
but it's the SNL
actors.
Guys, right.
But yes, and so you're like, wait a minute, I saw this done in a different way on SNL, and now I'm seeing it at the Emmys on CBS. I thought that was good. He does play the kind of plodding along, not perfect.
Right.
It felt a little like a Temu award show broadcast to me in that it just didn't feel sharp. And I think that was by design. I think they wanted it to feel casual, and Bargatze plays the casual role perfectly.
That's almost like his speaking patterns are casual.
He and Shane Gillis kind of have a similar, I'm not going to work overly hard to get this perfect, but I might be actually secretly working hard to make it seem not perfect so that you think this is just
Bargatze's funny to me because he's like a public speaker, he's a stand-up comedian and incredibly famous now. His world has exploded. And he's got a lot of sort of unusual speaking ticks. It's a lot of ahs, a lot of ahs in there but it works for him for some reason. But he's just, I think I discovered him several. He's from Nashville, and I on Twitter or TikTok or somewhere, I would just see clips, and I was like, every time this guy's telling a story, it's just funny. He's just a funny storyteller, and now he's hosting award shows, and perhaps didn't get rave reviews, but I thought he handled most of it well.
Gary, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to
We'll
you.
take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do NFL on the other side. Some crazy games yesterday, including one between the Cowboys and the Giants. Plus, Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl rematch went the way it did when we last saw it. We'll get into it after a quick break.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
How did they sell you on Memphis?
I was really looking at the success that Memphis had as something I wanted to be a part of, and then the reputation Coach Silverfield and Coach Cramsey had as an OC, the things that he was able to do with Seth and the things that he's done in his career. I felt like that's something I wanted to be a part of, and I felt myself being able to excel in his offense. And also, I looked at the weapons around and everybody that I was going to be playing it with.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You want to be where you think the University of Memphis belongs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the next step is?
I think we're ripe for success. And so what I don't want to do is make an intermediate move if it's not going to position us well. And so my job is to make sure when that opportunity presents itself and the circumstance is right, that Memphis is prepared 100% to take advantage of it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Let's get into some of the NFL happenings from this weekend, weekend 2. And if there was one overarching thing that I was reminded of this weekend, it is that the NFL early season, even more so than the college football season, varies so much from week to week. And you cannot hold anyone accountable in a court of law for things that are said about a team week 1 in the season, because week 2 might come around and next thing you know, JJ McCarthy is a pumpkin again.
That's not true at all. You gotta hold people
that
accountable.
Game last night, oh my God. We had a tremendous day of football. Like in that first window, I think there were 5 games going into the fourth quarter that were all within a single score. And then the 3 games in the middle window all ended just like some of the dumbest endings to football games. And I will include the Eagles win over the Chiefs because I think the tush push is dumb, in my opinion. And I'm ready to stand on that for the rest of my life. But then you get Sunday Night Football, And a game only a true NFL sicko could love as you watch field goal after field goal after field goal after field goal. 7 straight field goals before you finally got that Tyler Algier rushing touchdown to seal it for Atlanta. But J.J. McCarthy, 1 week out from being the world beater who rose in the moment to, well, he's looked pretty bad in 7 of 8 quarters of football that he has played as a professional.
Yeah, when we start evaluating quarterbacks, I think it's Peyton Manning. It might be Tom Brady. I'm almost certain it's Peyton Manning who said quarterbacks get judged on the 2-minute drive to end the half, how you do there. You get judged in the fourth quarter. You get judged on third downs. That's pretty much it. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter. We act like we can't appropriately contextualize everything that a quarterback does. But JJ was not good in that Vikings game last week against the Bears. He had a good fourth quarter, though, and that was enough to lift them over the Bears. But like you said, 7 of the 8 quarters, J.J. McCarthy has looked meh. And to downright, oh, no. Right? So there's that there going on with J.J. and the Vikings, and you just hope for Vikings fans' sake that they find a way to figure out how to better utilize J.J. McCarthy, and that there's something in there to be better utilized. Because I'm telling you, I don't think that there is. I think this is what he is. And you just have to find a way to work around that and coach around that.
We shall see. The biggest thing to happen yesterday was Joe Burrow got hurt. He has turf toe. Saw it reported as today's show began. Grade 3 turf toe, and he will need surgery, which means he will be sidelined at least 3 months. I have seen some doctors on the internet, and you can't trust every doctor you hear from on the internet, but there could be a fear that he would not be ready to return by the end of this season. Again, we ask, why do you need toes? But you need them to push off. They are an important part of the foot. Your foot in its totality needs all 5 toes to get it done, okay? It's the totality of the foot that makes it work. It just stinks for Joe Burrow. Finally coming into a season healthy, and we're always talking about, will Joe Burrow's defense hold up? Will Joe Burrow's offensive line hold up? But unfortunately, the real question usually ends up being, will Joe Burrow hold up? And that is not a Joe Burrow fault-based question. That is a, will his subpar offensive line not get him killed? And killed being hyperbolic, but in this case, he gets hurt over and over again because they have not invested. They are not investing in Joe Burrow in the way that you should invest in a quarterback worth the amount of money that he is, simply. And we will now potentially stare down a line, and I know there's a lot of his career left, but he could turn into one of the bigger what-if players that we have had in the National Football League.
I mean, if you've got something that valuable, do you not protect it?
My ring is insured.
Well,
I put up the wrong ring. I meant my wedding ring. I put up my Aura ring. This thing.
I didn't want to say anything.
I got in a fight with a chatbot trying to get a replacement on this one. This one's insured.
Listen, if it was 100,000 bajillion carats, you'd be walking around with security.
Yes.
Because that's valuable. We protect our valuables. The Bengals don't. I don't understand. We make fat people over here. Why do the Bengals not have enough offensive linemen to protect Joe Burrow, or better ones? Is beyond my level of understanding. Because it is, hey, do you want to make the playoffs? Great, Cincinnati. I want you to make the playoffs too. For crying out loud, I picked you in the Super Bowl to get to the Super Bowl because I was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, got a good running back and good running game as well. Real versatile out of the backfield. Surely this line is competent enough to not have Joe Burrow taking crazy ass hits, and they just aren't. They just aren't. They may as well be a turnstile the way they let dudes get back there and tee off on Joe Burrow. And it's been that way his whole career. Man.
They're somehow 2-0. First time under Zach Taylor.
Somehow.
Managed to get a game-winning drive out of Jake Browning.
I mean, they
against the Jags.
They beat the Browns and the Jags?
I mean, the Jags are in a weird spot. Trevor Lawrence is waving off his coach. Brian Thomas is having a horrific game, dropping balls, not seeming to want to take any kind of a hit. He had 4 catches on 12 targets. As a Brian Thomas fantasy football stock owner,
should probably throw it to somebody else.
Times are tough for those of us who invested in the Brian Thomas world. But yeah, the Bengals go from having an MVP candidate quarterback to Jake Browning. And I'm not trying to rail on Jake Browning, but he gets a lot of attention for the game-winning drive yesterday. He threw 3 really bad interceptions, really bad interceptions early. I'm just saying, Kirk Cousins is out there with his helmet on, ready to go. That man had his helmet on. I don't know if it was the whole game, but every time I saw a image of Kirk Cousins on the sideline for the Falcons game last night, he had his helmet on. He was ready to get in that game.
What are you going to do? You going to trade to get Kirk Cousins?
Well, then
and
I
keep
start to
that
think
line
about
there who
exactly.
can't
If I'm Kirk
protect?
Cousins, that's not exactly
Well, if
that's
you're
such
Kirk
a deal.
Cousins, you
That's
go.
such a deal
You
with
go
the
if you're
devil.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, can I offer you Jamar Chase,
Yes.
T. Higgins,
Yes.
Chase Brown?
Yes.
And on the flip side, your freshly repaired Achilles
Yes.
might die via your offensive line.
I'll get the ball out quick enough. It'll be
God.
fine. No. You don't go out there and get anybody.
I heard
for-
someone
to
say
play
they should go get
quarterback.
Jameis.
No, don't do any of that. If you're gonna have to trade or if it's gonna affect your cap long term, you don't do any of that because you've got to find a way to get some offensive linemen. I mean,
Yes.
that's what you have to do.
Yes.
So in the draft, your first 3 picks should probably be offensive linemen,
One would think.
or you try and get some in free agency.
The best game of the weekend was the Cowboys-Giants game, in my opinion, because it's a crazy game when you have 6 group chats popping off, and 2 of them were my girl group chats. And my girl group chats don't talk about football often, but they were all talking about this game. 4 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes of regulation. Giants score on that Russell Wilson deep ball to Malik Neighbors to go up 3 with 19 seconds left. You're thinking, wow, what a I'm still here game from Russ. And you're like, just can't let the Cowboys get to the 50. And next thing you know, Brandon Aubrey is kicking a 64-yard game-tying field goal, which was an absurd field goal. Again,
ridiculous.
how are
that
we
we're
making these
kicking
legs,
60,
CJ?
60-yard field goals.
How are we
That's
making
absurd.
these legs?
No.
And then the Cowboys get it done in overtime. Russ throws the pick in overtime. It was such a Russell Wilson has saved his job, and then, there's a really bad pick for him. Dak was great in both the fourth quarter and overtime, 15 and 20, 187 total yards with a touchdown and a 116.9 passer rating.
Dak has looked good.
Very good.
Right, and this is a reminder because Dak was injured and we hadn't seen Dak for quite some time. Dak Prescott is a good NFL quarterback.
A very good
He's a
regular season
good
NFL quarterback.
Right, so
We're still TBD.
well, hey, Kirk Cousins was a good regular season
Exactly.
quarterback as
what I'm
well.
saying.
We're still paying him all this money, so just don't keep that in mind when we start talking about what this Cowboys
Yes.
team is and isn't. What they are, they're really good offensively. What they're not, defensively, they ain't not worth a damn.
You think they miss Micah Parsons?
Among other things, yes, absolutely I do.
You think they miss Micah?
Absolutely I do.
I will say on the positive for the Cowboys, they've beaten the Giants 9 times in a row, and Dak has beaten the Giants 14 times in a row. That is the most consecutive wins by a starting quarterback over an opponent since 1980. Bob Greasy had 17 straight over the Bills, and then you had Tom Brady beat the Bills 13 straight, and Steve Young beat the Rams 13 straight. But Dak Prescott owns the Giants. Statistically, there is no getting around that. Eagles-Chiefs was the game of the week going into the weekend. Super Bowl rematch. Eagles win. The Chiefs are 0-2 for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. First time since 2014 for Swifties. That is the first time since the 1989 era for good old Taylor Swift. The Eagles only had 223 yards of offense. And you won't be shocked to learn that the Eagles are still a well-balanced football team and can grind out wins when their offense gets stifled and win ugly, because that was the case yesterday. The Chiefs are in a position where they have to play near-perfect football right now. You cannot make mistakes. They have such little weaponry for Patrick Mahomes. Their run game is not consistent. You've had Travis Kelce now 2 weeks in a row make critical red zone errors, and he has the little dropsy yesterday. But their defense was good, not great, but good, better than week 1, I thought. This isn't the same Chiefs.
What do you mean? You said this isn't or this is?
This isn't.
Oh, this is, to me, it is. This is the exact same Chiefs that we saw last year.
They're a step back.
Listen, man, I know results are what results are, and that drives so much of the narrative, but it's the exact same thing as last year. They just hadn't won. And they've been in positions to win. And last year, the biggest difference in last year's Chiefs and this year's Chiefs is that they won these ridiculously ugly games. And they aren't winning them because of for various reasons. But you brought it up, Travis Kelce popping that ball up into the air in the end zone that got picked. That would have made it a tie game. And then let's see what happens next. That defense was playing real well and is playing pretty well. There's a moment, I don't know if I sent it because you can't really hear the audio. Also, the F word gets said. But the moment between Jalen Hurts and why am I blanking on star defense? Chris Jones. Out there with Chris Jones after the Eagles are going to take a knee, and Jones is just jawing at everybody, just like, yo, you guys didn't have 100 yards. And Jalen Hurts is, man, shut up, we won the game, right? So it's that type of a frustration for the Chiefs where that defense is holding. They just have no playmakers. You know how I know there are no playmakers? The canary in the coal mine? Patrick Mahomes had 60 yards rushing. If there were any playmakers, Patrick Mahomes is not running the ball down the field. He's throwing to the playmaker. They've got nothing out there right now on the outside and no big game breaker from the running back position. So when a play happens like that in the red zone, Travis Kelce doesn't snatch the ball, doesn't really see the ball coming out because it's right as he turns. Patrick Mahomes says, this might just be a quarterback being a quarterback, a leader being a leader, Hey, that's on me. I got to wait and let him turn a little bit more so he can see me. But either way it goes, if Travis Kelce catches that ball with his hands, reaches out and snatches it, it's a real good game for him, and that results in a touchdown. Then we might be talking about this game a bit differently because the Chiefs' defense was confusing Jalen Hurts. They were frustrating Jalen Hurts, and that was something that I don't think we see a lot.
So much time in the pocket, though. Like, I thought the Chiefs' pass rush through the first 2 weeks has been.
They blitzed. Immediately and often the first quarter and a half, and then I think that some of that was by design. Whereas, okay, we got him knowing that we will blitz. We got him thinking about the blitz. Just stay in your lanes. Don't get too far upfield. Don't try and get to him. Just keep him here in this pocket. And now that he's thinking blitz, let's see how long he can, let's see how quickly he can make the read against this zone coverage. And he didn't do a particularly good job at that as well. I know the Eagles won, and I know that Jalen Hurts is still sexy, but it wasn't like he played a good game. It wasn't.
The Titans lost to the Rams, but one of the throws from Cam Ward was insane, and it happened to be his first career touchdown pass. It went from a what is he doing scramble and F it, someone's open, throw across the body to the end zone. But he makes this throw, and someone is in the end zone, and it is Io Menor. It's a great play. Like, that's a play you remember. That's the kind of play that gets you excited about a young quarterback.
It's a fun play.
It's a fun play, and I will say it's funny because Will Levis made plays like that. But Will Levis, it always felt like they came from a place of panic, and this is a real small, unquantifiable difference maker. Will Levis was like an oh shit ball so often. And for whatever reason, there's always a difference between someone like a Will Levis and someone like a Cam Ward, where we evaluate Cam Ward from he knew exactly what he was doing that whole time. Even did you see the little scoop pass as he's falling down? That was like a Will Levis special. As Cam Ward is falling down, he's like, oop. And the difference between a Will Levis and a Patrick Mahomes is his receiver caught the ball and it didn't result in a pick six. Like, I think Cam Ward has poise. I'm not trying to, please don't clip this.
Clip it. We need this
believe
clip.
in Cam Ward. I've always, my belief in Cam Ward goes back to the Palouse when he's at WSU. It is fun to watch the difference, though, of and if you really get into the psychology of it, what makes he's early in his career, right? And there's no telling 100% where it goes from here. But because those plays are completed in the way that they are, you're left from a standpoint of Cam Ward is the truth versus, oh, God, this is a terrifying thing to be a part of. But I really like Io Manor. He's turning into wide receiver one before our very eyes.
Yeah, speaking of wide receiver one, every time the Eagles needed a first down and needed some yardage, straight to A.J. Brown. And it's like, oh my gosh, Tennessee, you just let this go. But listen, fun is what Cam Ward is right now. That's not a good play. It resulted in a touchdown.
It's a good throw. He gets it. And the throw before, did you see the throw lead? I don't know if it was right before that or if it was just on that drive, but he had another really nice ball to Io Manor.
Those throws, the ones you're describing, are good. Him running, he has got to stop running backwards. I'm telling you, people, it is fine for right now, but he's going to run backwards. And we saw it the last game. he is going to lose 15, 20 yards.
Why do you think he's running backwards? His offensive line is abysmal.
Step up.
His offensive line
up,
is
scoot
terrible.
Out. Step up, scoot out. You are not fast enough to run backwards and get around.
You have got
edge.
to keep your rookie quarterback
Step
alive in the pocket.
And
My
scoot
God.
out. I understand what you're saying.
He's been sacked 11 times in 2 weeks.
Hey, do not run backwards. You just don't.
I'd run backwards too.
Yeah, you're not a good quarterback either. What are we talking about?
You're right.
But I understand. Large man coming at me, I'm
First
running where he
instinct.
isn't. Back. But you got to ignore that. You got to try and shuffle on up and then scoot it on out. Shuffle on up and scoot it on out.
He said, I watched Joe Burrow die. I'm not suffering the same fate in my life with
Don't
this
run
gnarly offensive
backwards.
line who gets penalized all over the place. All right. The Broncos lost to Indiana Jones. That was tough for me to watch. Are the Colts legit?
I don't
Through
know.
2 weeks. Again, these are.
Through 2 weeks,
I'm not saying it's a court of law.
Through 2 weeks, yes, but like I don't know.
You want to know what I did find
Defensively,
myself?
I think defensively they are.
I think they're
solid.
fine defensively. I don't think they're great defensively. They gave up like 40 points to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are. One of the reasons you and I fought about Anthony Richardson back in the day, when I still had hope in Anthony Richardson, and don't worry, I let go of that one. But it was the belief in him linked with Shane Steichen as the play caller for that team and thinking that they could work in tandem. Now you have Daniel Jones, who could potentially be our new home who this. I don't recognize this man. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that he is able to execute the plays from Shane Steichen. And as long as he's staying within that system, it is built for success, and he has a lot of weapons. It helps that he has big old Tyler Warren there to throw the ball to, who's been one of the best rookies through the first 2 weeks. You have a great run game with Jonathan Taylor, and you have a really good offensive line. Like, that offensive line for the Colts is really, really solid. So all of those things come into play, and as long as you don't F it up, Daniel Jones could have 8 turnovers next week and no one would be surprised. But right now he's playing pretty steadfast. It was a bad end to the game. The Broncos got called for touching the center on a kick that would have been far missed, and the Colts would have lost, and they got a second chance at it 15 yards closer, and their kicker made it. The Bears looked awful this weekend. Gross. Any other big standouts for you from the weekend that was?
I guess the Lions in that Bears game didn't look like the wheels had fallen completely off. They were a physical team out there. My other game of the week, the Regal, Bills just went out there and throttled the Jets. But
and Josh Allen even broke his nose.
But Justin Fields left that game pretty early as well, man. So I'm trying to think of anything else of note. The Ravens got back to winning. The Ravens could have gone the Chiefs route, but they didn't. They went out there and took care of business and won. And whatever's happening in Miami, oh boy, this is what I want the Hard Knocks on. I want heart and I want it in there. I want to be in the locker room as that team fights with itself to try and figure out what they want this season to look like and how they want it to play out. I want to be in the meetings with McDaniel and the leadership, general manager, owner, to hear what they're saying to the coach. Is it McDaniel? I might be mixed. Is it McDaniel?
It's McDaniel, and he had a quote yesterday.
Wait, which McDaniel is this? It's not
Mike.
Josh. Mike. There we
Mike
go. Thank you.
McDaniel. He was like, what did he was like, to win games, you have to win the games. And to not lose the game, you have to not lose the game. I was like, oh my God.
You can be quirky. We love a good quirky coach.
Until you're
we don't like
losing.
Bad quirky coaches.
Badly.
When you're winning, you can say that. That's funny,
Yes.
that's charming, that's endearing. When you're losing, no, man, you can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when you're losing and the reports are you don't have control of that locker room, and you've never had control of that locker room,
yeah.
no, man, you can't be quirky and quippy and fun and funny. No, that's what's, you get to do that if you win. That's your reward for winning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're losing, no, man, you got to shut the hell up and give us the boring answers.
Let's do a quick Hot Mess Express on a couple of the hottest, messiest, because I would be remiss if I didn't get to include UCLA firing their coach 3 games into the season, coming off of an atrocious loss to New Mexico on Friday night, 35-10. This is the end for Deshaun Foster. They start 0-3. The New Mexico game, the final straw. They paid $1.2 million to play that game. You got to the point where the Big Sky Conference was punking UCLA on X on Friday night when Reddit College Football said UCLA reportedly exploring a move to the FCS Big Sky, and they said, no, thank you. Now, funny enough, the Pac-12 was punking on them too, and then their teams went and got demolished by North Texas. Washington State lost to North Texas 59-10. And Oregon State lost to Texas Tech 45-7. So maybe hold off before you come for UCLA. But there were no fans at the Rose Bowl. There's no hope for UCLA. An 0-12 season is in play because I had forgotten when you fire a coach in the middle of the season, those players can transfer immediately. Nico can be gone tomorrow if he wants to find a new home. And the same goes for Virginia Tech, who fired their coach after they lost to Old Dominion. So one of those things where like 3 weeks into the season feels fast, but I also understand why delay the inevitable in either of those cases.
Go ahead and get started with that coaching search quickly and get a leg up on everybody else who will be firing coaches come November, December, January. And also a 0-12 season is in play because you can't beat them. Who the hell are you beating in the Big Ten?
No one. That's the problem. UCLA is now in a conference. I think when you're in the Pac-12, you could get away with being middling and not being the worst. But in the Big Ten, if you're middling or perceived as middling, like you're going to be the worst. You're going to be bad. Like even that Wisconsin team that I watched to get beat by Alabama is better than that. Like, oh, it's a tough thing for UCLA.
Northwestern in Chicago, Penn State at home, Michigan State, East Lansing, Maryland at home, Indiana on the road, Nebraska at home, Ohio State on the road, Washington at home, USC. Like tell me where the win is. I want to believe they get one.
Yeah. Not good.
Probably Nebraska. They suck.
Let's show my the funniest touchdown from the weekend, which did happen in the USC Purdue game, which I did watch on CBS. And hearing the CBS music for USC Purdue was a very jarring experience and didn't feel like it was right. But this happens in the USC Purdue game, and it's so funny. He just takes it right back in. Chris was giggling his ass off watching that play transpire for Purdue. So a nice little chaos in that game. Who won though? USC. That's right. We're ranked, baby. Uh-huh.
You're proud about
Let's
beating
go.
Purdue?
Let's go.
What's the next
No,
up
I'm
for
not
the
proud
trophy?
beating Purdue. Who's next on our schedule? I forget off the top of my
Right
head.
now, USC in the driver's seat in the Big Ten.
I don't want to
Next
talk
up for
about
them, They play Michigan State. Oh, this is the 10 p.m. game.
Yeah, this is the late night
They
game.
play Michigan State.
Can't wait. Should be a good time. Anything from Hot Mess Express that you were dying to get to today, CJ?
Jacob, if you've got one, you can throw it up. Whichever one Jacob wants to throw up.
All right,
I'm
dealer's
down with
choice
you.
to end the show on a Monday. What do we got?
Whatever Jacob's trying to decide, because I sent a whole lot of good stuff.
I know you did. That's
sent
why I
the
want to make sure we
thing
get to
about
them.
The Giants lineman with 4 penalties on the first drive.
That was wild.
Sent the stuff about, oh, here we go.
Oh, we're in the...
Got it covered, baby.
This was a horrible... What was the line in this? Do you remember?
I do not.
Off the top of your head? Oh, we're going to bumble this one so bad. But
Was
it
it
was one
48?
of the greatest covers. I believe it was 48, Penn State Villanova, and Villanova with the touchdown at the buzzer. And it's...
Hey, we're playing football, baby.
like back of the end zone, one-handed catch. Come down with it.
If you can't win the game,
We had some
go
great
ahead and
catches.
win the spread.
We're not talking... I feel like we have a hyper amount of one-handed sit catches now. Like when OBJ had that one catch, it like stopped the world. Like everybody knew that was the catch. And now we're just making dudes who are just like... There's no arm socket anymore. Everything just extends outward. Flexibility's on a 10. But anyway, Villanova covers against Penn State. I wonder how Darnell feels about it. All right. We'll save the rest for our Oops, We Missed It Again segment on Wednesday. WNBA playoffs did start last night. I watched a little bit of it on my laptop, wanted to see my Valkyries play their first game, and then they got the brakes beat off of them by the Lynx. In the words of Natalie Nakasi, my coach of the year in the WNBA, just wants a fair fight. Those Lynx took 13 more free throws than my Valkyries in that first game. WNBA playoff action will continue tomorrow, but 3 of the lower seeds won yesterday in the Aces, the Lynx, and the Oh my God, and the Dream. And then the Liberty beat the Mercury in overtime. But at what cost? Because Brianna Stewart got injured in OT, which was a bummer to see. That'll do it for this Monday. We will be back tomorrow. Mike Wallace will join us. More Kawhi Leonard updates came out over the weekend, courtesy of Pablo Torre. We'll catch up with Mike as we are 2 weeks away from Grizzlies Media Day and Grizzlies training camp. And then we're 3 weeks away from the first game of the preseason. So it'll all be here before we know it. I hope you have a great start to your week. We'll see you later. Bye.